Fresh off her release for the Universe app, is one leader turned soloist Kwon Yoonbi is back with her second mini-album. Woollim Entertainment has paired her with a host of great songwriters, from the new Type Team, One Take, Tak and others, to FULL8 Loom to Monetary. New single Glitch gives her an interesting sound to work with, taking its title literally for a song that feels choppy and jerky throughout. This is a very cool approach. I can't fault the production, which remains dynamic and surprising all the way through. From the sparseness of the verses to the theatrical drama of the pre-chorus, Glitch is continually in flux. It borrows elements from drum and bass, psytrance, and trip-hop, fusing them together to create an exciting brew. The track climaxes in a final glitch out, adding abrasive electronics to simulate ultimate meltdown. This arrives after a beautiful, vocal-led bridge and rips the song open in the best way. Kwon Yoonbi has her work cut out for her, competing with such an attention-grabbing instrumental. She's like a ghost in the machine, offering wispy vocals that slide between the mechanical cogs of the production. It's a nice contrast, and allows for some striking moments. As well arranged as Glitch is, I feel like I should be head over heels in love with the song. Instead, I find myself appreciating its artistry without being compelled to immediately re-listen. This is likely due to my preference for a fuller-sounding track. I'm not a huge fan of this skeletal production style, even if it's done very well here. Still, this is a big step in the right direction for Yoonbi's burgeoning solo career. The last few years have seen several new girl groups hit big right out of the gate, but none has been as immediately successful as IVE. Debuting last December, their 11 was an instant success and has gone on to rule the charts ever since. Of course, with multiple members of the popular IZ*ONE among their ranks, IVE had a leg up. But 11 is a total gem and deserves its success. Now 4 months later, IVE have returned with their follow-up Love Dive. Love Dive is more atmospheric than its predecessor, taking a darker route while retaining the drive and energy that made 11 so enjoyable. It boasts a different sound from most current girl group singles, yet plays into instrumental trends that have been popular in K-pop since 2019. The insistent percussion of the chorus is particularly familiar, though Love Dive opts for a fuller arrangement than expected. The verses thrive on a wispy texture that emphasizes the group's vocals. IVE bring plenty of energy to the performance, even if the melodies lack punch. Like many recent tracks, Love Dive feels like a production showcase. Its chorus is catchy, but rather simplistic and repetitive. I'm much more inclined toward the instrumental textures. This continues into the dance breakdown, which offers a haunting break before Love Dive barrels into its final, bulked-up chorus. The track is well structured, never once losing its focus. But as someone who prefers melody front and center, I'm a little disappointed by the top line. Still, IVE have quickly carved their spot in this new K-pop generation. Their future feels incredibly bright. Many expected Dreamcatcher to participate in this spring's Queendom, and they certainly would have brought a unique perspective to the series. Instead, they've released their second full-length album, proving again that the music itself remains the most important focus. The rock-infused sound can be found elsewhere in the world, but it's been a unique twist for the K-pop industry. With new single Mason, the group continues to mine the charms of this genre, mixing things up a bit to create a standout single. Mason is tight and focused, and that's evident right from the start. The song immediately launches into its killer guitar riff, bringing energy and drive even before the first verse begins. This instrumental only grows more robust, joined by synth and, eventually, a warped choir of vocal layering. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before Mason hits its theatrical finale, it moves through a lean and punchy arrangement. I love the texture of the chorus. It feels halfway between guitar distortion and rugged synth. The melody is sharp and rhythmic, echoing the rapid-fire attack of the production. 3/4 of the way through, Mason gains intensity. The percussion hits harder as the melodies become grander. Backing vocals add a sense of rock opera pomp. This segment could stand to be even more soaring and over the top, but the track does a nice job shifting gears without completely losing the plot. In fact, one of Mason's biggest strengths is its continuity. Its pieces build naturally from one another, crafting a whole that never dips or runs out of steam. It's right up there with the group's strongest title tracks, delivering a welcome burst of rock intensity as many idol acts are opting for laid-back city pop vibes.
I see you looking at my PIC.
Jessie has been on a roll these past few years. Ever since joining P Nation, her music has felt more confident and focused, taking advantage of her skills as both a rapper and vocalist. I wasn't immediately sold with 2020's New Nana, but that song ended up being a major grower. Last year's What Type of X was an instant hit. New single Zoom isn't as unique or ear-catching, but its steady groove and fine performance build upon Jessie's strengths. The song's zoom in, zoom out concept fits well with Jessie's energy. It might be a bit cheesy coming from anyone else, but her confidence sells the track. The beat is anchored by a catchy synth loop, which descends in a seesawing structure that gives Zoom plenty of movement. It's the kind of loop that could easily wear out its welcome, but the production modulates just enough throughout the song to keep things fresh. I especially enjoy the melodic pre-chorus, where the instrumental switches gears and Jessie's performance softens. Zoom's chorus won't be for everyone. I'm not even sure it's for me. The hook is definitely repetitive and has the potential to grate. For now, I think it works, largely due to the interplay between Jessie's voice and that playful synth. The verses are more exciting, offering a variety of sounds and percussion. In the end, Zoom is an enjoyable head nodder, buoyed by its strong personality and willingness not to take itself too seriously. K-pop hasn't always had precedent for girl group members going solo, especially while their group is still actively promoting. But Cube Entertainment has done a nice job establishing the individual talents of G-idle. In fact, I prefer some of their solo efforts to their group work. Next on the docket is main vocal Miyeon, with a breezy, melodic drive. I didn't know what to expect from Miyeon's music, but this is a nice surprise. The light pop sound of Drive feels very IU-esque, but echoes her more anthemic tracks to great success. The producers were smart to bolster the song with an insistent drum beat, giving it plenty of heft. It's easy to imagine Drive as a sentimental ballad, but the arrangement twists it into something much more upbeat. That buoyant energy fits Miyeon's bright performance. Melodically, Drive crests and soars in all the right places. It's a one-trick pony, but that trick is pretty satisfying. The structure delivers a sense of movement right from the start, varying speed and emphasis to craft momentum. If anything, I wish Drive felt just a bit grittier. The synth line that emerges during the chorus hints at a more dynamic texture, but often the track is so light and wistful that it feels as if it might float away. That ethereal sound is part of the song's appeal, so I understand the approach. Ultimately, the memorable melody carries the day and gets Miyeon's solo career off to a solid start. Though retro trends still have a vice grip hold on K-pop, the industry has started embracing punky, guitar-led sounds as well. This is in line with global trends and may just be the next big thing. Whether Mamamoo's Moonbyul is a soothsayer or not, her newest solo single CITT, Cheese in the Trap, rides the wave of this burgeoning trend. Moonbyul's solo work has been all over the place. Though she originally gained prominence as Mamamoo's rapper, she's long since left that limitation behind. From new jack swing to deep house, her music has an unpredictable charm. CITT's pop rock makeover is her most well-fitting genre shift yet, even if the song itself is pretty generic. On the plus side, its boisterous energy captures Moonbyul's fun personality, allowing her to let loose. She's at her best when the chorus kicks in and the vocal processing comes down. I don't think the verses work quite as well. SKRRTs are never needed, and hearing them after so long brings back bad memories. These segments pass by at a clip, but feel inconsequential. However, I love how the rhythm briefly fractures before we jump into the chorus. It's a cool transition and brings a jolt of spontaneity. The hook itself is solid if predictable. It gets the job done and nothing more, yet has a nostalgic quality that keeps the song engaging. If anything, CITT feels like a first step towards stronger material in the future. It's not going to shake the world, but it's good, clean K-pop fun. When it rains, it pours, and Red Velvet fans are feasting on new music this month. Not only did the group make a long-awaited comeback last week, but they've had their second Japanese comeback after over 2 years. SM artists have a distinguished history in Japan, and I'm eager for another act to take on SNSD excellent J-pop legacy. So far Red Velvet B-sides like I Tai Tai and Swimming Pool have borne more fruit than their respective singles. Wild Side should please fans of the group's Velvet sound. It's more restrained and consistent than many of their title tracks, showcasing their always fantastic vocals. But other than that, this song isn't really for me. Red Velvet excel at R&B, particularly when they tackle a beguiling track like Bad Boy. Wild Side conjures a decent groove and the ladies bring plenty of charisma, but the melodies are a bit rote. This is most problematic during the chorus. Honestly, I don't like this melody at all. Despite unfolding against a languid backdrop, there's a franticness to the structure that feels too one-note. Opinions will vary, and I suspect many will prefer this to the more off-kilter Feel My Rhythm from last week. But I wish the track would have further harnessed the mystifying restraint of its pre-chorus. Wild Side just gets too noisy, which drowns out its charms.